Okay, so welcome to everyone who is tuned in today for the first episode of the Define Her Story interview series. I really appreciate you coming and tuning in. If you could do me a favor and in the chat, just pop in there and give me your name and where you're tuning in from. That would be kind of nice to see who all is here and where you're watching from. I'd like to, while we're doing that, introduce myself. I am Christina Mead, and I am the founder of Nerdy Girl Supplies. Just summing that up in a quick sentence, Nerdy Girl Supplies, what I focus on doing is delivering workshops and classes to women and young girls to help them develop into strong leaders and businesswomen. And this happens to be a part of this, of the mission of the company, which is to empower, to educate, and to inspire. So this is the inspire portion of the business. And a little bit about the Define Her Story projects that I'll be doing, because I'm the creator of those. And what I wanted to do, what my purpose and what I was thinking of for those is I really wanted a way for us to find a way for us to redefine kind of how we view ourselves, how we as women view ourselves, how we view our value and our legacies that we are leaving. And the ultimate big goal, we'll see if that happens, is to actually help society redefine what it means to be a woman. So that's kind of the big overarching purpose of these interviews and some of the other projects that will be happening with this. And I'm sorry if I look like I'm looking all over the place. I'm not really entirely certain as to where to look. So because it feels really weird looking at the green dot on a computer screen. So I apologize if I look like I'm going all over the place. What I'd like to do is I'd like to now just kind of tell you a little bit about Tanuja and how I met Tanuja. We met Tanuja, I think it was, I was looking back the other day, was it 2 or 3 years ago? Like it's been a while, I realized.
It was at least in 2014. I think it was in 2014.
So yeah. So about 2 years now. And we met via a referral. She was looking for somebody to help her do her crowdfunding videos. And my husband and I have a business where we do that. So we chatted and kind of did some research on her and then got to meet her. And I was immediately impressed with how driven and committed she was to the mission of her company. And so you probably don't realize this, but I've actually kind of been pseudo stalking you for the last 2 years. And
love that.
Well, and just watching you, because that's part of what's kind of helped keep me going a little bit. I think we all need to have like that handful of people that we connect with and that we watch as a source of inspiration in those days when we get kind of run down and feeling a little defeated. We're watching somebody and it's like, okay, try that strategy, or if they're doing it, you can do it too. So I very much appreciate that. Like I said, pseudo stalker here. I say pseudo stalker because we have actually met that kind of thing. But what I'd like to do now is, Tanuja, just give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you got started in your business.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Tanuja. I am a little bit sick today, so if I need to reach over for my tissues, please bear with me. And today's also a no makeup day. I'm feeling really free. And you guys can't see this, but I'm just wearing PJ pants right now. No, but okay, my name is Tanuja, and I run a business called Love Bites by Tanuja, and I'm a certified holistic health coach. I'm board certified by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners and the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and my business basically consists of the health coaching side of things. And then I have also a product line where I make healthy desserts. And do you want me to do my whole spiel about the desserts?
Yes, because
Everybody loves that, but then they're like, how do you memorize it? Well, I've just done it so many times. So all of my desserts, I make brownies, cookies, and muffins, and more if you custom order like cakes and stuff like that. And they are all dairy-free, grain-free, gluten-free, free of all white processed sugar, high protein, low carb, paleo-friendly, diabetic-friendly, soy-free, corn-free, non-GMO, and they can all be made vegan. So
tastes really good.
Yes, and they also taste really good. Christina can attest to that, and so can a bunch of other people. I'm happy to say that I have a slew of raving fans, so that's good. But yeah, so that's kind of the overall of my business, and how I got started in it was actually because I was on my own healthy or my own journey to becoming healthy. There was a point in my life, I'm not too old. I'm 32. I feel like I'm 16. But I'm 32, and when I was 24, I realized like I just had this kind of out of body experience, if you will, and I was just kind of observing my life. I literally remember the moment. I was sitting on the couch. It was a Friday night. I was eating my normal meal of pizza and Coke and ice cream. And I'm talking like a whole medium pizza just to myself. So clearly I was not in a healthy space. And once in a while, if you do all that, it's fine. But like this was an every Friday kind of thing for me. Not to mention on the weekdays, I mean, the rest of the week I would eat out like almost every meal. So clearly I was pretty unhealthy. And I was really unhappy in my life too. I was always sick. I hated my job. I was a little overweight, and I just was pretty like unhappy with the overall situation of things. So then that was the day I remember like having this experience and thinking, I don't want this to be my life anymore. I want to feel better. And it really, people think weight loss is the draw, and that might be like a little bit of a hook in the beginning, but it's really about feeling your best. And I think that's what we're all really after. It just sounds better to say like, I want to lose weight or whatever. And people a lot of times don't think of, even them, for them, the subconscious is saying, I want to feel better. They think I want to lose weight, right? Overtly. So anyway, I kind of started on that journey of weight loss too, but my main goal was to feel better. And so I just started eating a more whole foods type of diet, just cut out a lot of the processed stuff. And I was kind of eating a diet that was more like gluten-free and dairy-free, but it wasn't really doing that on purpose. It was just something that happened as a result of eating more fruits and vegetables and lean meats and that sort of thing. So anyway, then I love desserts. I love sweets. So it kind of came up after a certain point that like I can't eat any of that stuff I used to eat unless it's a cheat day, and that really sucks because after every meal I do kind of like a little something sweet. Now I've gotten off of that complete sugar train, so I'm a little bit better now. But I created this line of desserts that had all of those dietary benefits, I would say, because I couldn't find anything like that in Whole Foods that existed. Now, I mean, that was like almost 7 years ago that I started creating this line, but now there's a lot more options. So you can go to Whole Foods and find more things that that are in line with what I'm talking about. But in my personal opinion, none of them are as good as mine. So yeah, I think that pretty much answered your question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things too that, because again, I feel like a lot of times when I'm going to different networking groups, when I meet different people, it seems that everybody out there thinks that they're a health coach. So I'm just kind of wondering, and how do you, and I think that is something for a lot of us as small business owners, because there's a lot of noise that's out there. So then how do you differentiate yourself from the other, like how do you approach that, putting yourself as being different than the other health coaches that are out there?
That's a really good question, because I notice this too, and it's super annoying to me when people call themselves health coaches, but they don't actually know enough. Um, because you have to be an expert in your field. And that's my advice to anybody who's going to do anything. Whether it's your own business or you're working in a 9 to 5, it doesn't matter. Become an expert in what you're doing. Be able to like dream about it and talk about it in your sleep. My dad always used to tell me, like, if I wake you up both my parents actually, if I wake you up in the middle of the night, you should be able to do your times tables. And, I mean, maybe that's just like with Indian kids. I don't really know, but I was able to do that. Like that's how much of an expert you have to become in your field. And I think the way I differentiate myself is really, I think when people talk to me, they really see the differentiation, because it's hard to express on a website. It's hard to express like just, in casual conversation. But if you do a consultation with me, you will realize how much I know. And I mean, sure, I went to IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. But that is not the extent of my education. I also worked in politics for a while, and I had at the time I found it really annoying, but I would say now that I had the privilege of doing so much research on policy, with respect to the food system and agriculture in this country and in other countries. So I really got a very broad view of the food system in this country and how it works and how politics is really influencing what we eat. Along with the my being able to tell you, okay, this is what's good for you, this is what's not. But also, here's this whole other thing that you maybe don't know about, and you're voting with your dollars. So just be aware of that. It does matter which grocery stores you shop at. It does matter what kinds of foods you buy, whether you buy organic or conventional. So just know that you are having an influence on the process. So I think that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, was that I could, wow, I'm frozen. My eyes are.
Yeah, we're frozen. Oh my gosh. That's why I was like, get rid of that. How do I do that?
Okay, this is a better picture. So I think that was one of the best things that I got to participate in, was learning all that research, doing all that research, and learning so much about the food system.
Wait a second, Tanuja. I don't know if everybody else has, but I've lost your sound somehow. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Can't hear you. Nope. So I was going to say, should I try, I wonder if I should try reconnecting you again, I wonder. That's what I was wondering, is if I should, let's try logging out and logging back in. Awesome. Cool. Okay. All right. So sorry about that, everybody. It seems that we were having a little bit of issue with Tanuja's sound. So she is logging out, and then as soon as she logs back in, I'm going to try to see about reconnecting with her. So let's see here. All right. And Carol, I saw that you got a chance to taste some of Tanuja's. I think she brought in the chocolate chip brownies, and oh my gosh, those are to die for. And you can actually order them where they're already pre-made, or you can order the box where she has it where she's got all the dry ingredients and then all the wet ingredients, and you just mix it together yourself. So she's pretty much thought of everything to help people out with getting those sweet treats. So let's see here if we can get Tanuja back. This has been a challenging day today for technology, at least with Fire Talk and our episode today. So let's see here. Okay. So let's see here. And one more time. Maybe the third time is the charm here. So, and Carol, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hey, I think we've got, yay!
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, and we can hear you. Yay!
So I had to log off of the computer in order to make that work for some reason. So
interesting. Okay. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know, right? This is Mercury Retrograde, so we're just gonna accept it and go with the flow, right?
When I was just wondering, I'm like, are we still in that? Like, how long does that last? Is the question.
I believe the end date is supposed to be September 21st, but here's the kicker: there's always a shadow period. So it's like 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after it stops, then you still are feeling the effects. So that kind of sucks. All right, so we were talking about how I'm differentiating myself. So yeah. Another way I was able to differentiate myself is I am all about making like your comfort foods healthier. So I love taking like the macaroni cheese and I don't know, whatever other things people eat, bread, and finding healthier ways to make them and to make them delicious. I'm not a fan. I don't like salads, first of all. So instead of salads, I drink green smoothies, which I think are much tastier and much easier to ingest. But basically, what I'm all about is.
And you're frozen again.
The taste, because I feel like if something is healthy.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I lost your feed.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes, I can. Okay. I'm a little frozen right now, it looks like. But yeah, so I'm all about things that taste good, because I feel like if somebody is trying to eat healthy and stuff doesn't taste good, then they're just going to give up and not eat healthy anymore, right? So the goal is to make a lifestyle change, and that does not involve eating rice cakes all day or something. So I think that is definitely one other way that I differentiate myself. And of course, my product line helps differentiate me too. And there's a lot of
I really I like the way that everybody's trying to figure out a way to differentiate themselves. So I see a lot of people doing it like, oh, I'm gonna do my branding, or they talk about I'm gonna be great at customer service or whatever, and it's kind of it's, what do I want to say, like that's kind of tired or whatever, and everybody's like kind of like, yes, so what? Everybody else is doing great customer service. So I like the fact that we're talking about being the expert in your field, and I see a lot of people who take and spend a lot of time and energy in making their logo look great and all this other kind of stuff or whatever, but not really taking the time to know what it is that they're doing. They want it to be easy.
Yeah.
No, and I
will add something to that. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, so no, I'll add to that I was actually talking to my business coach yesterday, and he was talking about we won't ever worry about branding. And I thought about it for a second, because to me, branding is really important, right? But then you see people with really not so great websites, and they're doing like hundreds of thousands of dollars in business every year. And you're like, maybe branding is important, and it really is. I think it really all does come down to, are you an expert in your field, and can you monetize your information, your knowledge?
So in doing this, what keeps a lot of people who might actually be an expert in what they want to do, but then they don't go forward in it, is actually because of the fact that of some fears that they have. So that's what I wanted to ask you is, so in doing this journey, what has been probably one of your greatest fears? And then how have you actually managed to handle that, to take that leap and go forward?
This is a really good question. I never thought that I would be one of those people who was scared of success, but trust me, this is actually a legitimate fear. And I think I have it. And I think I have been in denial about it for a really long time, because I was always one of the super ambitious, driven people, very type A personality. And I I guess I didn't realize until recently, like, because I'm wondering, why am I not bigger than I am? You know, why is my business not bigger than it is right now? And I think I came to the conclusion that I am scared. I am scared of, in a sense, success. I'm scared of being. I'm scared of other people being right. And let me explain that. So people think I'm insane. And I think everybody who starts a business has to be a little bit insane. But, you know, I want my Tesla and I want my Maserati and my Bentley and my Rolls, and I want a really big house. I want all this stuff, and I talk about it very openly. And people are just like, it's almost like people are just waiting for me to realize that that's never going to happen for me. And I am afraid of them being right about that. And I would say the other thing is also that, you know, I have been working on recipes and working at this business for about like 7 or 8 years now. But I didn't really start this business until like just about 2 years ago. So it's like something I've been growing for a while, you know, it's like my baby. It's my baby. And if my baby, somebody calls my baby ugly, or if somebody rejects my baby, I'm going to be sad. So I think that there's a lot of fear around rejection and you know, being told that, you know, this is not viable or whatever. And you honestly just have to get over it. I don't really know. I think one of the best ways, what you said, Christina, about stalking people, honestly, like one of the coolest ways to get over these fears, because you see other people just like you who are maybe not as good as you, don't know as much as you, and they're doing it and they're making a living off of it, and they're, you know, doing it in a really big way. They're just like, why can't I do this? I have all the information. And for a while, I used to hold myself back because, you know, there was a period of time when I had a body that I think supported what I was doing. I was a size 0, and I was really proud of it. And this is why I kind of, in the beginning, said, you know, it's not about the weight, it's more about how you feel, because I think this was a maturity that I have grown to realize and accept and embrace, really. But yeah, I lost 40 pounds. I went from a size 10 to a size 0 in the beginning, and it was awesome. And it was done pretty quickly and very healthfully. And I was able to help other people reach their weight loss goals too, very easily and very quickly. And I think then there was a period of time where, you know, I went on birth control, and not even for the contraceptive needs, unfortunately. So I didn't get anything good out of it. I just went on because I had issues with acne. And, you know, this is, again, going back to, you know, how you're treating yourself. I think it all comes back to how you're treating yourself. So, you know, I had really bad acne, and I had already cut out dairy and sugar and gluten. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? What happened was that I was in a relationship that was fairly unhappy and very toxic to me. And I was not ready to accept that I needed to leave that relationship in order to reduce the stress in my body, which would in turn reduce the amount of acne and reduce the panic attacks I was having. And so instead, I decided to take the easy way out and go on birth control, right? And I was on it just for a year. And then
I can still hear you, yes. I think
but I'm frozen. Okay. Yeah, so I was just on it for a year, and then I got off after a year because I was like, oh, my face is clear, I don't need this anymore. Well, little did I know that there were repercussions to getting off the pill.
Okay, I think we've lost your audio now. Yeah. Still off. Oh no. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right, so Tanuja's logging off, and then she's going to log back on. Again, we're going to give that a try for to get her back. Let's see here. Hopefully it doesn't take 3 tries like it did last time. There we go.
Need to wash my face. Yeah, so within a month, I had gained 10 pounds, which is really weird for someone who is watching their weight and exercising daily. And I broke out like crazy, worst it had ever been in my life. And I started losing hair and like clumps. So this kind of went on for a while. And finally I did acupuncture that helped clear up the acne and the hair loss. But I was still putting on weight. Like, so my hormones were like very messed up. So anyway, I say all of this to let you guys know that it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're perfect. It doesn't matter if, you know, your room is painted brown and you hate this color, but your parents won't let you change it right now. You know, it doesn't matter.
Uh-oh.
If you don't have the perfect space to do your videos in. Just get started. And again, going back, you know, the thing we talked about earlier is be an expert in whatever you're doing. Because if you're an expert, people are going to listen to you. And it doesn't matter what your surroundings look like. You're going to be well respected. And that's what really matters. And also, there were a few times in my, in like the growing of this business that certain things came up. You know, you think I'm doing a product business, right? So my ingredients cost money, my packaging costs money, all this stuff, right? And I got some opportunities to, for example, lower the cost of my ingredients. And yeah, and I mean, I would have loved to do that, but you have to remember to stay in integrity, because remember, whatever product or service you're providing, your clients are trusting you. You know, whoever's buying your products is trusting you, right? So you want to make sure you're staying in the highest integrity possible. And I knew that if I took this route and gotten these cheaper ingredients or whatever, then I would have been compromising on the integrity of my product. So, you know, don't be afraid of the cost either. Like, yeah, sometimes it is expensive to start up a business, especially a product-based business. Christina, I mean, with Nerdy Girl Supplies, I mean, no, it's expensive, right? Services are much easier. But yeah, anyway, so stay in integrity, you know,
and it's,
you will find
a lot of it too is where you choose then to focus your mindset. If I'm focusing on like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost this much money. When I was sitting in that spot, money wasn't actually coming and opportunities weren't coming. And once I started going,
yeah,
all right, I'm going to focus on, this is my mission and this is what I want to do. And I'm focused on creating that. I actually found that the money's found the way to get to me. So, and I always thought that was just, you know, hokey pokey talk, that kind of thing, you know, I mean, because it sounds very, and pretty and everything, but I'm like, there is just, I've seen it happen over and over again, not just with myself, but with other businesses, that it's just, you know, where you put your focus, or what's the other story is like, which animal are you going to feed? That's the one that's going to grow and survive. So which animal are you going to feed? Exactly.
Yes.
So,
yes. And just to add on to what you were saying about which animal are you going to feed, you know, I had a full-time job when I started this business, and it was sucking me dry of all of my energy and all of my, you know, anything I had to put into my business. I like had to create it out of nowhere. And like, I was so scared to leave my job because I was worried about the money. You know, I was using my own money to fund my business. So I was like, well, I can't do my business without my job. And luckily, the universe conspired in my favor and got me laid off in April with a nice little severance package, and now I will get to have unemployment. So, you know, everything kind of just worked out in a way that I felt free enough to do this. I don't have any kids. I don't have any like responsibilities. So I felt like this is the right time.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the next question, and we're gonna see if your sound comes back. Like, this is a great day. So I think the last question that I'm going to ask you is then, how do you define success for yourself? Because and the reason why I ask this question is because I see a lot of people when they're talking and they're watching other people, but the thing that they're watching is they're seeing the now, and that kind of thing, and they're not seeing the like, I had no idea that you've been working on your recipe for 8 years, so they don't see all of that hard work and everything that got to your success. So, and those people that I've talked to, what I thought they would say is their definition of success or how they knew that they were successful has been very different than what I would have thought that they would say. So that's my question to you is then, how do you define success for yourself? And that's awesome, but we can't hear you. Okay, so, and now, okay, so let's, I know. All right. So I very much appreciate you guys who've been hanging in with us, and the technical challenges that we have been having and experiencing today. Let's see here if we can get Tanuja in for the last question before we wrap it up. And while we're waiting for her to log in too, I know she has got something really cool for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get that link and copy it in here for you guys. Yay! I was just, while we were waiting for you, I was just popping in there the link where they can go to for the free gift that you have for them.
Yes.
So that's in the chat. So how do you define success other than not having any technical challenges in an interview with online?
So a couple different things I think for success. And the way you asked that question was so powerful, by the way. I feel like, we see we live in an Instagram culture, right? So we feel like everything is, first of all, instant. That's one thing. And, we see all the fancy houses and cars and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I want all of it. Yeah. But I think one of my definitions of success is being able to have all that stuff and then have it all taken away from you and still be happy. Yeah. And I mean, really, I think that's the goal of life in general. And when you look at most religions, they probably say something similar to that. But you shouldn't be attached to the things that you have on this planet, because they could be taken away from you, including your own life, right? Like, be taken away from you at any moment. So find a way to be happy despite all of this. And this is, the older version of me talking. When I was, maybe 5 years ago, I would have said something completely different. And the same is true for the next answer I have, which is enjoying the journey and appreciating the journey and understanding what it's doing to help you grow is so critical. And I think that that's something that we all forget, and we curse when we, our recipes are not turning out right for the 15th time in the same night, and you're sitting on the floor, your kitchen floor, crying, and you don't know what else to do. Because I've definitely had nights like that, and this is after a full day of work, coming home and trying all this stuff. And I can't even tell you, I have no idea what drove me to do that, because it would have been just as easy to sit down in front of the TV and just watch for 3 hours before bed. But something was pushing me to try all that stuff. And I can't, there's no coincidence, there's no accident there. I mean, I was supposed to do it and I figured it out finally. And it's just all about enjoying the journey. And like I said, 5 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, I would not have said the same thing.
Uh-oh. I'm like, is it because I'm typing? I'm like, surely I'm not having an impact. But I was just going to put the takeaway that you just did to enjoy the journey. That I think is really important. because there's a lot of times that we cuss that journey and that struggle that we're going through. Yeah, like last night. So I was going to say, unfortunately, like I said, unfortunately, the sound is still out. And so what I was going to say is, rather than trying to do the reconnect again, because we're going on like 43 minutes. And so I just want to respect your time as well as the time of the viewers. I super appreciate you being my first episode with the Define Her Stories project. I really appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who has tuned in live as well as will tune in for the replay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next month for the next interview. Y'all have a great day. Thanks.